so that's gonna be heard. People can hear my dog.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not sure how I'll sound in it, but
I don't know. I'm trying a new thing where I'm not wearing headphones, so.
Okay.
Ah! I couldn't find the replay tab. More so, I couldn't find my replay tab despite only having 5 tabs open.
Oh.
Alright.
Hold on, let me turn this down a bit.
I was telling Josh prior to the match, and even in the video, I was like, I went 3 for fucking 6. I've never predicted someone's team that miserably. I don't know if you have, Josh, but I've never gotten below 4 Mons until now.
Yeah.
Like, this was not what I was expecting.
I can definitely say the same.
I led Ampharos. Here, I should have just clicked Power Gem. I'll be honest. I should have just clicked Power Gem. This toaster would have dropped. Oh, I'm actually annoyed. He volt switches the second turn into Donphan. I was very confused by this play because I'm like, why? Why do you go into something that's taken like 90%? He took 74, which means he was Spadef, or I just got a low roll. But he ended up killing my Ampharos. I will admit, that Donphan had speed, and I knew the Donphan had speed the moment it outsped Ampharos. So, at this point, I'm looking like, well, shit, now what? I don't really have my special breaker for that double. Me realizing I still have a whole ass setup Glowking in the back. But at this point, I went to sub in case he wanted to swap into double or whatever. He opted to just Earthquake. I knocked off. Found out that was Focus Sashed. I don't know why. Your Rapid Spinner most likely shouldn't be sashed. If anything, it should be Boots. But he axles my Skarmory. That's fair.
Yeah.
I sat here, I was just kind of roosting. I wanted to scope out this Mega Galade's moveset. I said in the video, he's going hard Rotom, and that's exactly what he ended up doing. I'm kind of mad that I didn't make the play into Mamoswine, but it is what it is. I didn't want Mamoswine taking a Fire Punch, but then my dumbass was like, oh, he's going to click Volt Switch. Second week that I've let Mamoswine take a Fire move. Week 1 was from a Flamethrower, week 2 is now an Overheat. God damn it. But that's all fine. I found out by this information that was offensive Rotom. He needed 168 at least to get that 79% roll.
Okay.
So at that point, I knew he's offensive. I knew knockoff killed. And then I was like, he can bring Spiritomb in here. He could bring Double in, start Cotton Guarding. I said Iron Defense in the video. Because I forgot it was Cotton Guard, not Iron Defense.
Yes.
And then I was like, he can bring Double. He can bring in anything at this point. Like, he can revenge me with anything. So he brings in the Glade. That's what I figured. That or Double. I get a knockoff off. Yep. That didn't matter. Here, when I brought in Torn, I contemplated going Hurricane, but I opted just to U-turn, get the free chip off, rather than risking Torn's entire life. Because Torn at this point does clean up this endgame. So I didn't want to risk Torn's existence. And hindsight being 2020, he did miss the Axle here. It only would have mattered if I stayed in with Torn. So for Skarmory, we've seen it take Axle into Fire Punch. multiple times already in this match. So Skarmory shrugs it off. Now, I opt to set up a spike, and I did contemplating just spiking all over this Gallade. But instead, instead of risking a burn or a crit at this point in the game, I'd rather just kill it off. And so that's what I did. Instead, I spiked up on the Spiritomb. He did miss a Willow, which... one thing I did tell him in DMs after the fact, and I pointed it out in the video as well, Will-O-Wisp weakens foul play, and I don't think Tom knew that prior. So he's wisping me, and then he foul played, which was definitely a mistake in hindsight. Honestly, he should have been, if he was gonna do that, he should have been wisp, foul play, hex, filler. Spiritomb should have only been here for Glowking, and I do think that's why it was here. Otherwise, my Glowking set did set up and just win. So, it's understandable why the Spiritomb had a bad matchup, but also stopped my biggest threat against him. So, it's understandable why it came. I spiked all over it. I felt bad for the Willow miss prior because I thought he was Willow Hex. I do feel bad because that is unfortunate, missing Axel and Will-O-Wisp. He starts foul playing, and at this point I'm like, Tom? Sir? Something ain't right about that. He foul plays, and I'm like, Skarmory, can you die? Skarmory lives on 5. Skarmory then lives on 1, and Skarmory just didn't want to die. At this point, I went Goon. I knew foul play didn't do shit to me, and I knew I at least 2-code this. So I ended up getting Goon the kill. And here's something that really surprised me. That bug was not Focus Sash. I figured it came in because it was Sash, Bug Buzz. But at that point, Goon was useless. I didn't need it. At that point, I was going Slowking and then setting up. It never came to that. This bug just... It died. And then he brings in this, and he goes straight up for the body press. I'm confused in that regard. I don't know if after a +3 from Cotton Guard, if he lived knockoff a second time. But I definitely have a feeling like you would. I'll calc that after this and figure that out. But I definitely feel once your item's gone, you're at +3 defense. You live 1. I don't know. Goon's a goddamn goon. So, maybe. Maybe not. You might not. Depending on EVs, I guess. Yeah, because Goon did fucking 45%. That's crazy. But Torn comes in and clicks Heat Wave and just ends the game. One thing I'm upset about, I didn't get to click Seed Bomb on Goon. I think it would have been kind of funny to send a Feeny in on a obstagoon and get Seed Bombed. Another thing is, I forgot about this prior, and it could have came back to bite me. Goon's Flame Orb doesn't go off in Psychic Terrain. So I have to proc it against something, and nothing here allowed me to proc it. Not easily. So, just a tidbit for me, I guess. It was kind of an oversight and prep on my end. But Feeny didn't show up, Amoonguss didn't show up. What else did I think was showing up and didn't? I don't know. There was another Mon I thought was showing up, and it just didn't. And I was very surprised by that fact. I did not expect the bug to show up. I did not expect the double. I felt like double was a 7th Mon out. I did fear it in some regard, but at the same time, I felt like there were better brings. But hey, I'm not D-Ray. I didn't get swept by a double.